Hello, everybody, and welcome to regional semifinal action, Division 4 from Oxford, Ohio, Millett Hall. Mark Bixler along with Duane Warvel, being joined by Matt Mestemaker on camera. And Duane, kind of an interesting set here at Oxford for the Division 4 regional semifinals. 4 teams, all with blue, number 1. But any one of these 4 teams could make it to Columbus after this weekend's over.
You're exactly right, Mark. And you got a contrast of different styles here this evening in the games that will be played. You'll have several teams that like to get the ball out, up and down the floor, and you've got other teams that like to be patient and sit back in a zone and slow things down. So just be interesting to see how things shake out tonight.
Well, we're going to take a quick break while the national anthem is played. We'll be back here at Millett Hall in just a moment.
Helping bring you this event, the Made Right Sandwich Shop, located on North Broadway in Greenville, by the Ansonia Lumber Company on Main Street in Ansonia, Gilbert Feller's Funeral Home located in Brookville, Greenville National Bank with several locations in Darke County, by Cox Insurance, located in Ansonia and Greenville, by Homestretch Sportswear, located in St. Henry and Wapakoneta, and by M. Bixler Video Productions. Helping bring you this event, by Oliver Floyd Funeral Home in Greenville, Montage Cafe on Broadway in Greenville, by McCain Painting Incorporated, located in Greenville, by Osgood State Bank, located in Osgood, Family Health Services in Greenville, Arcanum, Versailles, and New Madison, by State Farm Insurance, your agent Jim Gable, and by M. Bixler Video Productions.
We're back here at Millett Hall in Oxford. Mark Bixler and Duane Warvel. The Marion Local Flyers getting set to take on the Yellow Springs Bulldogs here in this first regional semifinal game. Let's run down the starters. First off, for Yellow Springs, dressed in blue, trimmed in red and white, Brandon Fry, number 3, a 5'6" senior. Anthony Brandon, a 6-foot senior, wearing 20. 23 is Jordan Skinner, a 6'2" senior. A 5'9" senior is Rory Hodeling, number 45, and Dustin Rudiger, a 6'5" senior, is wearing 55, as it will be Russell Moeller jumping as Yellow Springs with control, but quickly a turnover as Yellow Springs tried to force it inside, is running down the lane, getting the layup. Does not go. That was Corey Lubke. A whistle and a foul. It's going to be on the Flyers. For the Flyers, the starting lineup, number 3 is Adam Kramer, a 5'9" senior. Corey Lubke, a 6'3" senior, wearing 5. Number 12 is Ryan Winter, a 5'11" junior. Curtis Moeller, a 5'10" sophomore, wearing 20. And Russell Moeller, a 6'5" senior, is wearing number 43. Brandon Fry gets it into the front court as Marion Local. And that, what we're assuming is going to be a matchup zone. That's what the Flyers traditionally play. As getting it inside for 2 is Dustin Rudiger, and Yellow Springs off to the 2-0 lead. Marion Local getting to this regional semifinal game with a district finals win over Minster. Yellow Springs had to come from, or actually led the whole way against Russia, but boy, had to withstand a furious comeback by the Raiders, who trailed by 21 at the half and ended up losing by 3. And in fact, Duane, I think they tied it up.
What's interesting here just to see the pressure that Yellow Springs is going to apply man-to-man compared to Marion Local's matchup zone, which is at the same time very active, but we've already seen several turnovers no longer than we've played in this ball game. And that's probably to be expected, to both teams settle down, get comfortable.
We are at the 7-minute mark, a 2-0 lead for Yellow Springs. We are high above Millett Hall. I feel like Cameron Indoor Stadium. The only problem is we can't see the scoreboard.
That's Yellow Springs' second turnover already of the ball game.
Flyers will put it in play, as doing it will be Curtis Moeller. Moeller gives the inbounds pass as Ryan Winter takes it, and they attack the full court pressure put on by the Bulldogs. Kramer has it out top. Dishes it off. That's Curtis Muller. Muller out top. It goes to Lubke. Lubke drives the runner in the lane off the glass too strong. Gets his own rebound. Goes back up with it strong. And this time gets it to drop. And we're knotted up at 2 apiece. Yellow Springs looks to push it. And another turnover. Marion Local coached by Keith Westrick. Brad Newsom, the coach of the Yellow Springs Bulldogs. And what a feat for Keith Westrick. Last year, winning the state championship, they lose 8 players off of that team, key players, and he has them right back here in the regional semis.
Well, absolutely, Mark. And most of those players are inexperienced and even have some very young kids playing here tonight in this contest.
That was a 3-point shot by Russell Muller, and the lead is now 5-2. So Muller may be 6'5", but he's not afraid to take that outside shot. Rediger goes inside, and a whistle and a foul. Let's see what's going to be on. And it goes on number 20, Curtis Muller. His first, the team's first.
That is Rediger's 3rd touch of the ball game. Have done a nice job trying to isolate him and get him the ball there on the low block.
And Brad Newsom apparently feels that is important.
Well, anytime you got a kid of that size, Mark, what is he, 6'5", 6'6"? And not a frail young man by any means.
Makes it a 5-3 ball game. He'll now try to make it a 1-point game. The free throw is on the way, and he gets it to drop. 5-4 as, again, Yellow Springs puts on that full court press. Winner gets it down court as Kramer. He'll take it in, lays it up, cannot get it to go. Muller with the rebound, dishes it back out. Lubke for the 3, good.
Boy, Mark, you really like to see that type of a 3 inside out. Young man's got his feet set. Very good look at the basket.
Well, it doubles it up now, 8-4. Hoderling gives it off to Brandon Fry. Skip pass as they get it into Rediger again. He gets it back out to Hoderling.
Boy, Marion is doing such a nice job in this matchup zone, extending themselves, but at the same time, not opening up passing lanes and good looks at the basket.
Yellow Springs,
4th turnover.
Did not see a press from what we understand until the Russia game, and a whistle and traveling, so Marion returns the favor, and that a turnover by the Flyers. Until the second half against Russia, and that's when the Raiders storm back from a 21-point deficit to end up losing by 3. Fry, skip pass, it goes to Brandon. Brandon fires the 3, left it short, and the rebound goes to Winner. Lubke for the 3, can't get that one to drop, and quickly Hoderling dishes it off. That is Skinner. Skinner lays it in for 2. And it's a 2-point game at 8-6. Winner. Muller bobbled it, and the turnover. The Flyers turn it over. So this press creating some problems for Marion Local.
Well, Mark, you got at one end you have Yellow Springs applying full court pressure and doing a very good job, and at the other end you have Marion Local in their half court matchup zone, but at the same time with man-to-man principles really getting after it.
A 2-pointer in the corner. Jordan Skinner gets that, and we're knotted up at 8 apiece. Winner gives it off to Lubke. Lubke into the front court. Pulls up in the lane, gets it to go. It's been the Corey Lubke show here. 7 points. Hoderling looks to drive. Dishes it off. That's Brandon back to Hoderling. Hoderling looking inside, but I tell you what, Wes Everman doing a nice job of fronting Rediger. Hodling. Driving in the lane, and Rudiger gets it underneath and lays it in.
Good things happen when he touches the ball.
And we're tied again at 10 apiece. Everman gives the ball to Winter. Winter pulls up, skip pass, it goes. As Lubke fires for three, got it, his second three-pointer of the quarter, and he now has 10. Actually, I've got it as now 13-10, and that would be after the three. Saved back in as Brandon. Skip pass goes to Hodling. Hodling looks inside, dishes it off. That's Fry. Rudiger, spin move as he dishes it out to Hodling for three. Cannot get it as the rebound goes to Corey Lubke. Lubke, the quarterback on the Flyer football team, lost to Columbus Grove in the state championship game as Kramer fires for three and buries it. 16-10, Marion Local leading it by 6, their biggest lead of the night. Hodling. Out top it goes, Brandon. Underneath as getting it is Skinner. A whistle and a push is going to be called, and I believe Everman is going to be guilty of that foul.
You know, Mark, most people think when you think of a zone, not a lot of movement, limiting yourself to a certain range on the floor. Marion Local is such a treat to watch them play in their half-court defense because they really get after it.
Well, timeout taken. It is 16-10. Marion Local leading this over Yellow Springs. We'll be back in just a moment.
Helping bring you this event, the Made Right Sandwich Shop, located on North Broadway in Greenville by the Ansonia Lumber Company on Main Street in Ansonia, Gilbert Feller's Funeral Home located in Brookville, Greenville National Bank with several locations in Dark County, by Cox Insurance located in Ansonia and Greenville, by Homestretch Sportswear located in St. Henry and Wapakoneta, and by M. Bixler Video Productions. Helping bring you this event by Oliver Floyd Funeral Home in Greenville, Montage Cafe on Broadway in Greenville, by McCain Painting Incorporated located in Greenville, by Osgood State Bank located in Osgood, Family Health Services in Greenville, Arcanum, Versailles, and New Madison, by State Farm Insurance, your agent Jim Gable, and by M. Bixler Video Productions.
Back at Millett Hall, a 16-10 lead for the Flyers over the Bulldogs as Rudiger as they try to get it inside and the Bulldogs turn it over, but you're absolutely right. That matchup zone that Marion Local plays, very active right now.
It is active, and they're running at you, and really you watch their position defensively. You know, they're down in a man-to-man style type of defensive stance, and they're getting after it. They're sprinting to the ball when they're covering it. I really like the way they defend and get after it. A lot of help, a lot of talk and communication.
Well, the Flyers turn it over at the offensive end as Yellow Springs gets it back. Down by 6. The skip pass as Brandon gets it back to Fry. He's open for the three and does not go. The rebound to Marion Local as Lubke gets it back to Kramer.
But Marion's zone extends so much that they don't give you a real good look for a three.
This is a team that has really turned it on about the last 4 or 5 games of the regular season, except the Versailles game. They played well, but Versailles an exceptional team this year. Lubke from the left side, can't get it, gets his own rebound. He goes back up with it, off the glass, will not go, battling for it, and we've got a jump ball. On the alternating possession, it will be Yellow Springs basketball.
Well, Mark, when you have that many kids that maybe were a part of your program but not getting vital experience at the varsity level coming back, and you play in the MAC, it's going to take well over Christmas before you start gelling as a team and coming together and really guys understanding what their role is and what they're supposed to do and leadership. And, you know, they're playing good ball at the right time.
And the mere fact that they were in the state championship game in football. So they got off to a late start as it was. So that speaks volumes of Marion Local as Muller with a steal, spins, gives it back as the shot by Everman is good. And Marion Local leading this 18-10. The Flyers hoping to play the winner of the Fairlawn-Jefferson game. Loose ball as Winter comes up with the rebound, and time runs out. We've completed 1 quarter of play here at Millett Hall in Oxford on the campus of Miami University. It is Marion Local 18, Yellow Springs 10.
Helping bring you this event, the Made Right Sandwich Shop, located on North Broadway in Greenville by the Ansonia Lumber Company on Main Street in Ansonia, Gilbert Feller's Funeral Home located in Brookville, Greenville National Bank with several locations in Darke County, by Cox Insurance located in Ansonia and Greenville, by Homestretch Sportswear located in St. Henry and Wapakoneta, and by M. Bixler Video Productions. Helping bring you this event, by Oliver Floyd Funeral Home in Greenville, Montage Cafe on Broadway in Greenville, by McCain Painting Incorporated located in Greenville, by Osgood State Bank, located in Osgood, Family Health Services in Greenville, Arcanum, Versailles, and New Madison, by State Farm Insurance, your agent, Jim Gable, and by M. Bixler Video Productions.
Back here at Millett Hall in Oxford on the campus of Miami University, and seeing that Redhawks down there, Duane, I still refer to them as the Redskins.
Yeah, we got to be politically correct.
I know. And how long have they been Redhawks? I'd say
2-3 years, is it?
It's been more than that. I'd say it was early 90s when they made the transition. I'm not sure if I was living down in Alabama or if I had moved back yet. Lubke, as they apply pressure on him, they're not going to let him get a good look as he is fouled. Already with 10 points, and they are all over him right now. Well, I do not have a number 30 as Russell Muller with his second three-point goal. And it's a 21-10 lead. So the Flyers have extended that lead to double digits right now. Well, the Flyers getting a steal as laying it in is Curtis Muller. And right now, Marion Local leading this by 13 points, 23-10.
Well, Mark, you look at Yellow Springs and their shot selection. If Rediger touches the ball, good things have happened. I don't know. How many points do you have him for?
I have him with 6 points right now.
Okay, 6 points, and what do they have?
10.
Total 10. So outside of his play, they don't get a lot of great looks in that matchup zone that they're going against. A lot of the shots are hurried and forced, and then really they're one and done. And Marion Local is grabbing the board and going the other way. The other side is that they don't have a chance to set up in their full court pressure either. So until they stick the ball in the basket, their defense has helped them in the full court presence because, they forced 4 turnovers right now. I really like the way Marion Local is applying pressure, but yet still in a zone.
Well, the matchup zone, of course, goes back. John Chaney does it extremely well at Temple. A man that I watched games back in the early 80s up at Kalida. Dick Quartercracks does a very good job with it at Kalida. And Tim Bargee the longtime coach at the Versailles Lady Tigers, always did a tremendous job when he introduced it back in the mid-'80s. To Versailles as Moeller puts it in for two. And right now, Marion Local dominating this with a 15-point lead at 25-10. That is blocked as Lupke comes up with a steal. Cody Johnson could not get it to go. As we quickly go the other direction. Oh, Mater gets it into the corner. Lupke open for three. Got it. That is Lupke's third three-pointer, Duane. He is on fire.
And he's really shown a lot of leadership out there.
That three-pointer by Hoteling doesn't go as quickly. Lupke takes the pass, lays it up, has it blocked, but the Flyers come up with it. Skip past Lupke, leave him open for three, left it short. The rebound to Yellow Springs. Boy, that would have been a dagger in the heart if he would have hit that three. Yellow Springs can't get it to go. The rebound and putback. Jordan Skinner gets it, his 6-point. Skinner and Rediger each with 6, and that's all the scoring for Yellow Springs.
Well, again, Mark, we've said there's just not many scoring opportunities for them.
Mater gets it back to Kramer. Lupke looks to drive, cut off. Gives it back to Kramer. 25-12. Pass goes into Lupke. Lupke up too strong as Rediger with the rebound, and he is called for traveling as he dishes it off. Russell Moeller happened to be in the right place at the right time defensively to force that travel.
Yeah, and I think that was just a little token defense in transition and caught him by surprise.
That turnover giving it back to Marion Local as Lupke will put it in play, and that is deflected. Yellow Springs comes up with a steal. Quickly down to the corner. As with it is Brandon. It's over at Hoftel with it now for the Bulldogs. Down 25-12. Yellow Springs trailing the Flyers of Marion Local. Yellow Springs members of the Metro Buckeye Conference, as is Jefferson. As laying it in for two is Cody Johnson, and right now Yellow Springs getting a couple of good looks at the basket. Lupke. Out top it goes to Mueller as Kramer has it now for the Flyers. 25-14. They led it by 15 at one point. 25-10, but right now Yellow Springs on a 4-0 run. Mueller for three. Rattles around, doesn't go as Rediger with the rebound for the Bulldogs.
If Yellow Springs can get a little bit more dribble penetration and a little dribble and kick, I really think, Mark, it will really help them out.
I believe Kramer is going to be called for that foul. His first. The team's fourth. So I'm missing one foul.
You know, it's ironic here, Mark. We talk about the inexperience coming back from Marion Local, but I believe Marion Local has played 7 or 8 young men so far in the game already.
The depth that Coach Westrick uses off of the bench.
And that's something that has developed through the year. One thing you try to do is try to develop a little bit of bench play if you can.
Hoteling fires for three, can't get it to go. The rebound to the Bulldogs. As they get it down to Rediger, he can't get that one to drop. Loose on the floor. Yellow Springs comes up with it. Is looking to drive as Skinner, a whistle and a foul.
And that's where I really think some things might help and happen for Yellow Springs if they can get the drive against this zone.
Kramer picking up his second foul.
As well as Marion Local covers and defends and gets out in the passing lane, the drive should be there.
Heads up play by Skinner as he just kissed it off of the backside of the defensive player, goes in and lays it in for two. That is deflected out of bounds off of Yellow Springs.
Would you say he was calling his own number?
Absolutely. He saw what was taking place and decided to take the easy route, I guess you would call it. Timeout on the floor. We'll take one as well. Marion Local taking it. It's 25-16. Flyers leading the Yellow Springs Bulldogs.
Helping bring you this event, the Made Right Sandwich Shop, located on North Broadway in Greenville by the Ansonia Lumber Company on Main Street in Ansonia, Gilbert Feller's Funeral Home located in Brookville, Greenville National Bank with several locations in Darke County, by Cox Insurance located in Ansonia and Greenville, by Homestretch Sportswear located in St. Henry and Wapakoneta, and by M. Bixler Video Productions. Helping bring you this event, by Oliver Floyd Funeral Home in Greenville, Montage Cafe on Broadway in Greenville, by McCain Painting Incorporated, located in Greenville, by Osgood State Bank, located in Osgood, Family Health Services in Greenville, Arcanum, Versailles, and New Madison, by State Farm Insurance, your agent, Jim Gable, and by M. Bixler Video Productions.
Back at Millett Hall on the campus of Miami University in Oxford. You know, we were coming in here, we were talking a little bit about kind of how this is very similar to the Convocation Center down at Athens. There's a few subtle things, such as OU, it goes all the way around, and here they have the bleachers. But one thing is a 5-second count as Marion Local turns it over. One thing I like at OU at the Convocation Center is the location of the scoreboards.
Yeah, right now from our vantage point, Mark, we can't even see the score. Can't really see the time.
Other than on the score, the top of the backstop, 317, not backstop, I'm already in baseball. Top of the rim, top of the basket.
And even from our vantage point,
it's tough to tell.
Yeah, it's not really easy to see.
Although I think I can see this one better than I can down. I can see the one to your left better than I can see the one to the right as Yellow Springs turns it over as we are down to about the 3-minute mark. Everman dishes it off to number 30. That's Ryan Stuckey. As Winter takes it, thought about the three, and he slides the pivot foot.
You know, both teams are playing extremely hard. Both teams are applying a lot of pressure, but you still would like to see the turnovers at this point in time, be nowhere near the number they are right now for a quarter and a half in a game, at this point in time in a regional game.
But don't you think there's a little bit of, I don't want to say pressure, but kind of jitters at this level too? Rudiger drives to the basket, and he is fouled.
And we talked, Mark, on the way down, it's very hard as a coach to prepare for someone's speed and quickness. And if you're Yellow Springs, try to prepare for Marion Local's matchup zone, because it's not like any other zone that you would face during the year. And so that's hard to, put in place in practice.
Well, it's speed is tough to practice against, especially if you are not the quickest team in the world. Another thing that's tough to practice against is size. These two teams are pretty evenly matched size-wise. As Rudiger missed that free throw, and the Flyers come up with it. Winter will push it into the front court as he gets the ball to Lubke. Boy, Yellow Springs doing a nice job. They're keeping track of Corey Lubke. Yellow Springs with the steal. The layup does not go. It's tipped out of bounds, and it's going to be Flyer basketball. Well, a lot of tradition out of Marion Local when you go back to 1975 winning their first state championship under Irv Biesecker. Jack Albers got them to Columbus, although never won a state championship, but got them to Columbus a few times. Count the basket. Everman, or check that, Winter with the basket.
And Mark, we talked about the tradition that they have also in football and just learning how to win. And I'm a firm believer when kids get to the point where they understand and they learn how to win, it really becomes contagious.
It's an attitude.
And even now, at this point in time in the game, neither team is doubting their play. Neither team is doubting their abilities.
Well, when you get to this level, you're a good basketball team.
Sure
I don't care.
And if you get to this level, you're well coached.
Well, the Flyers turn it over as Yellow Springs with it. As that is Jordan Skinner. Skinner dishes it back out. Hodling is getting the pass is Cody Johnson. Johnson dishes it off inside. Back to Hodling. Pass going inside. Johnson looking to drive. Spinning. Fires it up. And it's stuck. It'll be a jump ball. And Yellow Springs gets a break.
Well, Mark, you think about Marion Local. If you can play against a St. Henry, a Versailles, a Delphos St. John's, you've got to be prepared.
A Minster.
Yeah, exactly right. You've got to be prepared for this type of ball game.
Yellow Springs with another turnover. Minster got Marion Local at Marion Local in the regular season, but the Flyers won the tournament game. We have an injury as going down, and it appears to be an ankle.
And, you know, I've heard people say losing ball games, some people say never help you. But I really believe when you put a Marion Local or a St. Henry or Versailles on your schedule, it gives your kids the opportunity to play against such a quality opponent, and especially if it's at their place, play in an atmosphere where your kids learn what success will do, and then also gives you some confidence that you can play and you can compete at that level. And if you can compete against a Marion Local at their place, a St. Henry at their place, Versailles at their place, and I could go on in the MAC, then when you get to the districts and regionals, you actually know how to win ball games.
St. Henry, another one of the teams in the Midwest Athletic Conference that's still going. 3 teams still in the tournament, 2 at the Division III level, St. Henry and Versailles. Going in opposite directions. Versailles goes to the Southwest District. St. Henry goes to the North or region. St. Henry goes to the Northwest region.
And I don't think that's unusual, Mark.
No.
I really don't.
And frankly, it could have been 4 teams if Delphos St. John's would still be around at the Division III level. And they could have been as that ball is tipped out of bounds off of Yellow Springs. It's going to be Marion Local basketball. But in years past, Delphos St. John's has been Division IV.
And you know what, Mark? It doesn't matter to me what division they all can play.
Absolutely. And another team that has been very competitive over the past few years is Coldwater. Mater from the baseline can't get it to go. Mueller grabs the rebound. Back outside, the three-pointer is good.
That was a huge basket.
And that breaks a drought. I believe it's 28-16 as going up, and maybe a little out of control. Jordan Skinner whistle as he got the steal.
Got his offensive board. Loose ball.
Looked like the Flyers was going to come up with the defensive rebound, but somehow Skinner came up with it, and he's fouled.
And what do you expect this type of game? Teams to be playing awful hard, and you have a contrast of styles, but yet you have both teams playing extremely hard.
We are under a minute. I believe it's just under 54 seconds remaining. Now Skinner's first free throw rattles around and drops. As a substitution coming in for Yellow Springs. So we're Knopfel coming in.
I just really like the way Marion Local covers up on this zone. Not a lot of real free, good looks for Yellow Springs. But at the same time, when they're aggressive taking the ball to the basket, they're able to break it down.
Skinner hits both free throws. Nice break to the basket as Mueller gets the lay-in. That's the way to fill the lanes, Duane.
Well.
That's textbook.
Yep. Attack pressure with pressure.
Skinner fires for 3. Doesn't go. Batted around, and Mater tips it out of bounds. It's going to be Yellow Springs basketball.
You know, Marion Local has done a nice job several times, Mark, breaking that press with, pressure themselves. They're attacking the basket. They're not just trying to get the ball across the half court. They're trying to attack the basket.
We are down less than 25 seconds, approaching the 20-second mark as Fry dishes it off. Rudiger. The runner in the lane gets it to go. That's Anthony Brandon. 7 seconds. Muller gets it down. Out to Lubke. Lubke fires for three. Does not go. Gets his own. Goes to chase it down. Winner came up with the rebound, but time runs out. We've completed one half of play, and I'm going to have to double check the score, but I believe it's 28-18.
It's hard to tell from our advantage point. We can't see, but Mark...
35-21. Okay, boy, I was really off that time.
When Yellow Springs has been successful, they're driving to the basket and getting a decent look.
We'll be back here we'll run down the scoring in just a moment.
Helping bring you this event, the Made Right Sandwich Shop, located on North Broadway in Greenville by the Ansonia Lumber Company on Main Street in Ansonia, Gilbert Feller's Funeral Home located in Brookville, Greenville National Bank with several locations in Darke County, by Cox Insurance located in Ansonia and Greenville, by Homestretch Sportswear located in St. Henry and Wapakoneta, and by M. Bixler Video Productions. Helping bring you this event, by Oliver Floyd Funeral Home in Greenville, Montage Cafe on Broadway in Greenville, by McCain Painting Incorporated located in Greenville, by Osgood State Bank located in Osgood, Family Health Services in Greenville, Arcanum, Versailles, and New Madison, by State Farm Insurance, your agent Jim Gable, and by M. Bixler Video Productions.
We're back here at Millett Hall in Oxford on the campus of Miami University, home of the Red Hawks, and Duane, a 35-21 ball game. Marion Local opened it up about midway through the first quarter, and they haven't looked back.
No, you hold Yellow Springs to 21 points, you're doing something very successful. At the same time, you got to be pretty pleased with putting 35 points on the board. I thought Yellow Springs did a nice job, though, making a late run at them in the second quarter, because Marion Local, it looked like at the start of at the end of the first quarter, start of the second quarter, they were going to run away with things, and Yellow Springs did a nice job coming back at them.
Well, running down the scoring, first off for the Yellow Springs Bulldogs, we have unofficially Anthony Brandon with 2, Cody Johnson with 2, Dustin Rudiger with 7, and leading the way for the Yellow Springs Bulldogs, Jordan Skinner with 10. For the Marion Local Flyers, Adam Kramer we have with 3, Ryan Winter with 3, Curtis Muller 2, Wes Everman 2, and Russell Muller with 10. And leading the way for the Flyers, what a big first quarter especially, Corey Lubke with 15 points, 3 threes and 3 twos.
Yeah, I believe what did he have, Mark? 10 in the first quarter. I think he had 10 points in the first quarter, and you expect that out of your senior, getting him off to a good start. And I'm sure we're not done calling his number for the night.
Well, 35-21 is the score. If you're Yellow Springs, if you're Brad Newsom, what are you telling your kids right now?
I think what you're really trying to tell your kids is attack this zone. Go after it. Marion Local is doing such a nice job recovering against the pass. I've seen several nice skip passes, some back screens on the back side of the zone, and yet Marion Local still able to slide over top those back screens and get in the face of the shooter. So they haven't had too much success with wide open looks shooting the ball. And even if they get a good look, it's kind of a hurried look, because Marion Local's running at you, and they're not running at you high and fast and going by you. They're staying down in a nice defensive stance. They're getting right into your belly button and putting that hand up, making it very, very tough. When they do get the ball inside to Rediger, he had some nice touches and some nice things have happened. But I really think they've got to try to break him down off the drive, get some dribble penetration, and then if they can get into the interior of that zone, maybe some good things will happen. Maybe you get to the foul line a little bit and give yourself a little bit of a breather. Also, you get the opportunity to get a kick out while the zone collapses, because it is a matchup zone, so there's a lot of help responsibility on the drive, so that leaves somebody open on the perimeter. So you've got to be able to pass the ball extremely well, but at the same time, you've got to be able to drive. When they've attacked this zone, they've gotten some decent looks. They've also had the opportunity to get some nice offensive boards. If they're not driving against the zone, basically, Mark, they've been one and done. Marion Local has controlled the boards, and they're going the opposite way. And Marion Local's not walking the ball up. They're attacking pressure with pressure and attacking their basket.
Well, you talked about the inside out. Marion Local, that's one thing that they've done extremely well here in the first half is they get the ball inside and then they pop it back out, and that's one of the reasons Corey Lubke was free for the three-pointers.
I think that's one of the best three-point opportunities you got in the game of basketball, where you can get a young man or a young lady driving to the basket, someone on the perimeter getting their feet set, getting a very good look at the basket, not having to hurry, and just get a good look at the basket. And I think good things and good opportunities occur when that happens. And Mark, we also talked about that doesn't happen overnight. That takes, 3/4 of a season of a team coming together to know, okay, if player A drives to the basket, is player B or C going to be in a position where I can kick the ball out? And know that when I drive and someone collapses on me, I react to that defensive pressure, okay? And now I can kick it out to where the open man's at. And so that takes an unselfish young man or young lady and also another player understanding his teammate and getting there and getting ready to shoot the ball.
And when you've got the inside-out combination such as Marion Local has, with Russell Mueller being at 6'5", and he can take it outside and shoot the three.
Well, and he's been able to put the ball on the deck too. It's not like he can't put the ball on the deck and do something with it. Well, another thing that happens when you drive to the basket and you get a kick out like Marion Local has done several times, now the defense runs back at you, and then the post player can turn, seal, and now they're back open. And Marion Local is patient enough that they will be able to do that.
Now, if you are Keith Westrick coaching the Marion Local Flyers, what did you tell your young men?
Well, I think they've done a nice job against their full court pressure, but then again, if you stop them on the defensive end, and I really think Marion Local is winning the game with their matchup zone and their defensive pressure. If Yellow Springs can't put the ball in the basket, they can't apply that type of pressure to you. And I really think Marion Local has settled down. Some of the turnovers they've had have been hurried and rushed, and they just need to be a little bit more patient. Offensively, I don't think they're hurrying, but at the same time, they are attacking the basket. I think they're doing a nice job. I think if they stay in that zone and keep attacking things and getting after it, some good things are going to happen.
At this point in the season, you usually have a couple days to prepare for a team. In this case, basically, you didn't have quite as long because of the Tuesday evening matchup. But how do you prepare that quickly for another team?
Well, I think it's easier for Marion Local to prepare for Yellow Springs than it is Yellow Springs to prepare for Marion Local. I don't think people understand what it's like to play against a matchup zone. And unless you as a coach, I think sometimes you go and you try things not to implement in your program, but just to know as a coach, if that happens to me, how will I attack that? And I really think it's tougher for Yellow Springs to mock up what Marion Local's doing and the reads that they make defensively than it is for Yellow Springs to prepare, for Marion Local to prepare for Yellow Springs as pressure.
Well, we'll take a quick break. We'll be back with the start of the third quarter here at Millett Hall in just a moment.
Helping bring you this event, the Made Right Sandwich Shop, located on North Broadway in Greenville by the Ansonia Lumber Company on Main Street in Ansonia, Gilbert Feller's Funeral Home located in Brookville, Greenville National Bank with several locations in Darke County, by Cox Insurance located in Ansonia and Greenville, by Homestretch Sportswear located in St. Henry and Wapakoneta, and by M. Bixler Video Productions. Helping bring you this event, by Oliver Floyd Funeral Home in Greenville, Montage Cafe on Broadway in Greenville, by McCain Painting Incorporated located in Greenville, by Osgood State Bank located in Osgood, Family Health Services in Greenville, Arcanum, Versailles, and New Madison, by State Farm Insurance, your agent Jim Gable, and by M. Bixler Video Productions.
We're back at Millett Hall. We are just about ready to start this third quarter of play with Marion Local leading it by 14 right now, 35-21.
Mark, I really think it's real important for both teams to come out in the first 2 minutes, really set the tone for what they want to do the rest of this game.
Driving the lane is Curtis Muller as he dishes it back out for Lubke, and he picks up where he left off.
Mark, that's exactly what we talked about here at halftime. Nice drive to the basket, nice kick out, good shot opportunity.
38-21. Marion Local leading this by 17 points. Skinner drives down the lane and gets the 2. And it cuts it to 15 at 38-23. Lubke gets it into the front court. As Kramer has it out top. Lubke drives down the lane, kisses it off the glass, but he's fouled. Rudiger picking up the foul. And Lubke will be at the charity stripe. Justin Rudiger picking up his first, and Lubke will be at the charity stripe getting the 2. A chance to extend this lead. It's right now 38-23 as Lubke misses the first.
You know, Mark, he gives you a tough matchup because of his size. Left-handed, his size.
It kind of reminds me of a young man that came out of a little smaller, as that is deflected off of Yellow Springs. It'll be Marion Local basketball. The Flyers will put it in play on the baseline underneath Yellow Springs basket. But a young man that played at Northeastern High School over in Fountain City that ended up going up to Bowling Green, Corey Ryan.
Yeah, Corey had some nice size to him. I mean, when you're 6'6" and can play the guard position,
absolutely,
it's tough. It really does provide a tough matchup for you.
Well, it's deflected. Skinner with the steal lays it in for 2, and that's exactly what Yellow Springs needed. 39-25.
And you know, Mark, through the year, Yellow Springs got a lot of baskets in transition just because of the pressure they apply to people.
Adam Kramer guilty of the foul, and I believe that's number 3. They play in the same league that Jefferson plays in, the Metro Buckeye Conference, which on the whole is not a strong conference. But they're Yellow Springs and Jefferson at the top of that, it seems like year in and year out. And another team that's very competitive out of there, the Eagles of Troy Christian.
Well, you know, you can't prepare for the speed that someone has with their hands and their feet, and just about the time you get comfortable, all of a sudden you have a turnover. So it's really tough to relax.
Now we will be down here Friday. Dwayne and I will not. Hopefully, we're hoping that Alex Warner and Ty House will be able to call that game for you. And I'm not exactly sure what is taking place.
I don't know. We've got some problem here where
I don't know if it's a clock problem or exactly what it is.
But Mark, the game of basketball has a lot to do with runs that are made.
Absolutely.
And right now, Yellow Springs has done a nice job making a run at Marion Local. And right now, Marion Local just needs to regroup, you know. But this next possession, you always feel like, hey, we've got to score or we got to get to the foul line. Something's got to happen for us offensively. And if it's going to happen, it's going to happen probably at Marion Local's defensive end.
Well, this is, you know, Yellow Springs, you mentioned, has been on a little bit of a run here, playing well offensively. You have to wonder, that was almost like a timeout.
Mm-hmm.
And you got to think that could hinder that run by Yellow Springs.
Yeah, it could. Yellow Springs, you know, when they attack the basket, they've been successful. couple times they've gone into the high post, and the high post has been able to square up to the bucket and dribble and drive and be able to score.
I'm still not sure what is...
I think we have some blood.
Oh, yes. There is some blood on the floor, and they've got to get that cleaned up. Sometimes that takes a while. I can remember a few years ago, Dayton Christian playing Bell Fountain in the Division II regionals at the Nutter Center, and it took about 20 minutes to 25 minutes to get it cleaned up. I don't think it's going to take nearly as long with this. As it looks like it has been cleaned up, and we are just about ready to resume play here at Millett Hall in Oxford. Well, I'm slowly weeding out all the facilities that I want to do play-by-play in. Whistle and a travel.
And like we said, Mark, if Marion Local is going to do something, that's going to be at the defensive end, applying pressure, and then they should get something good at the offensive end now because they've been very patient, but at the same time, you can be patient and you can attack.
Lubke will put it in play as getting the pass is Curtis Moeller. Moeller looks to drive, cut off, and the turnover. Marion Local gives it up. Skinner looks to drive, goes baseline, a whistle, and he is going to be called for traveling. Got caught up as the Yellow Springs fans wanting a foul.
Well, I tell you, when you get to the regionals, a lot of times officials are not going to bail you out on plays like that.
And not just the regionals this year. I have seen that this year as Moeller takes the pass, and he steps on the line and turns it over. But that was there, Duane.
Well, and I believe if the young man goes up and catches it with two hands, like the good Lord's given him, then he converts that. I think a lot of times we watch college basketball and the NBA, and we pick up some bad habits.
Underneath, Rudiger for two. .553 remaining. So right now, Yellow Springs on a bit of a run. Lubke dishes it off, Winner. Moeller fires for
it's a big three.
Rudiger drives baseline.
For as big as he is, Mark, he's got very good.
Quick.
I mean, his footwork is very good. You know, most guys his size in transition there probably would have walked. He did a very nice job getting his feet set and then making his move aggressively to the basket.
Well, Keith Westrick making a bold move right here as we are at the 5.5-minute mark of the third quarter as Rudiger misses that free throw. But Adam Kramer checking back in. I have him with 3 fouls. And at the 5:31 mark, he's taking a chance at this point, bringing him back in the third quarter.
And Mark, I don't question that a bit because if you're going to win, he's got to be in there. He's got to play for you. That's right. And he has to understand too that he's in control of what he does out on the floor, and he knows how many fouls he has. So, you know, be smart, but yet be aggressive.
Well, the Flyers right now not taking very good care of the ball as they turn it over once again. Trying to get it in on the inbounds pass, cannot as they turn it over. Skinner dishes it off as that is Silver Noftel. Silver Noftel dishes it out as Brandon looks to drive. He's cut off. Silver Noftel looks to drive baseline, and a whistle and a bump on that baseline move. Right now, the momentum with Yellow Springs.
It is.
Kyle Mader picking up the foul. So Yellow Springs will trigger it in. The inbounds pass. As Brandon with it now, he looks to drive, and that's when good things have happened. Couldn't get that to drop, and the Flyers, Mader grabs the rebound and falls to the ground, and that's automatically traveling.
I think some kids have a real good ability, and I think it's an innate ability they're born with to drive but yet see other people. And then I think some kids, when they drive to the basket, they see nothing but the rim. And I think that was a case in point where Rediger was open on the dish off, but he just didn't see him.
Well, Rediger getting the rebound, as whistled for the foul is Ryan Stuckey.
And that's one of those things, Mark, I don't think you can teach. I mean, some kids just have that ability to drive and see people, and some kids have the ability to make everybody else around them a lot better.
Now, with what happened to Mater just a few seconds ago, where he went up for the rebound and fell down, getting the rebound as Skinner looked for the three, not there. What happens if a player falls down but they do not move their pivot foot?
Well, most of the time with the yell of the crowd and the coach and everybody else, they're going to call it a travel.
Well, according to the rules, it is a travel.
Well,
even though they don't move their pivot foot, if they fall down, it's a travel. But my question is, how can you call that a travel? I saw that the other night, and it was, by the rule definition, it is a foul or a travel, as Marion Local turning it over right now. And Keith Westrick, not liking what he sees, Duane, elects to call a timeout. We'll take one as well here. Just over 4.5 minutes remaining.
Helping bring you this event, the Made Right Sandwich Shop, located on North Broadway in Greenville, by the Ansonia Lumber Company on Main Street in Ansonia, Gilbert Feller's Funeral Home located in Brookville, Greenville National Bank with several locations in Darke County, by Cox Insurance located in Ansonia and Greenville, by Homestretch Sportswear located in St. Henry and Wapakoneta, and by M. Bixler Video Productions. Helping bring you this event, by Oliver Floyd Funeral Home in Greenville, Montage Cafe on Broadway in Greenville, by McCain Painting Incorporated located in Greenville, by Osgood State Bank located in Osgood, Family Health Services in Greenville, Arcanum, Versailles, and New Madison, by State Farm Insurance, your agent Jim Gable, and by M. Bixler Video Productions.
We're back at Millett Hall in Oxford on the campus of Miami University. 42-28 the score. As Yellow Springs with possession, as Marion applying some token half-court pressure, but they revert quickly back into that matchup zone. Lubke, Johnny on the spot with the steal, and he lays it up and couldn't get it to drop, and it goes off of, let's see.
It's off.
It's off of Marion. I thought it was off of Lubke. I was going to wait and see. So who does that remind you of? I go back to about 1982. I'm sure he would not like me saying this, but you were a teammate of his at Ansonia.
I don't want to say it because I don't want to get anybody in trouble.
You know who I'm talking about, though.
And you know what? Games are won and lost on layups like that.
Well, Marion Local right now going through a dry spell. Brandon with the lay-in. It's good.
Well, and I'm sure the Marion Local kids understand that this game is not a sprint. It's a marathon. Just be patient here. Get a good look.
42-30. And a near turnover, but it's deflected off of Yellow Springs. It will be Marion Local basketball.
Yellow Springs, their intensity, at least for me, it looked like they played hard the first half, but it looks like they're playing even harder.
Well, it's like we go back, one and done. They know that this could be the last game. A foul inside, and let's check and see. I think it may be on Brandon. His first, the team's second. Mater with the inbounds pass. Kramer Stuckey looks to drive.
Another turnover.
As Silvert Knoftel dishes it off to Hodeling. Rudiger with it in the corner, looks to drive. Picks up his dribble, gets it off to Brandon. And a whistle and a push. It's going to go on Rudiger. Rudiger and Russell Mueller going. They're going at it. And that time Rudiger getting caught. A timeout taken by the Bulldogs of Yellow Springs, and I believe it's going to be a 30-second timeout.
I think one thing that's tough for Marion Local is to understand how quick Yellow Springs is recovering. This last drive was a perfect example where there was a nice closeout, and the defensive player recovered, and the pass was made thinking that the offensive man would be open, but Yellow Springs is doing a nice job recovering and has gotten several turnovers because of that.
Doing a better job in this half than they did in the first half.
Yes, they are. Much better. In the first half, Yellow Springs is maybe a step slow, and it results in a bucket. Now it's resulting in a deflection. You can defend again or a turnover.
42-30 is Marion Local with the lead and the possession.
Ooh.
And out of bounds. I think Keith Westrick wanting a foul that time.
I think it could have been either or.
But not getting it. And as we pointed out earlier, Duane, at this point in the tournament, I think really from the sectional finals on, you don't get many breaks. As Rudiger hits the basket.
Well, and then it goes back to what we talked about at halftime about getting teams on your schedule that you can play against during the regular season that will put you into a district type of atmosphere where there's a lot of pushing, shoving, hand check. And I'm a firm believer when you play in the MAC, you better be ready to play. That's right.
Every time out.
Every time.
And boy, what a matchup. We did the Versailles-St. Henry game, and we'll be able to see that on Adelphia Cable at some point. But what a matchup, a great basketball game. Versailles winning it by a point, 51-50. Rudiger.
I really think that young man's got to touch the ball if they're going to be successful, though.
Can't get it to drop as Kramer grabs the rebound. I think the Versailles-St. Henry game turned St. Henry's season around. They were playing extremely well, but they've stepped it up a notch after that game.
I think a lot of coaches can go back on their season and they can say, you know what, at this point in time, this particular game, this particular situation, I think was the turning point in our season.
Marion Local will put it in play almost directly in front of us, but down at court level. I don't think they'd want to put it in play clear up here.
I don't think they could throw it that high.
I don't think so either. Kramer, as Yellow Springs applying all kinds of full court pressure, drives down the lane,
nice
scoops
drive.
it up, and couldn't quite get it finished. Got a good look. Nice pass inside the lay-in. It's good. And I don't have a number 30. And it's 42-32. And let's see what's going to be Marion Local basketball. Lead has been trimmed down to 10. Everman takes the inbounds pass. Lupke with it now as he gets it to Russell Mueller. Lupke looks to drive, and he took that extra step. The Flyers turn it over.
And you know, Mark, as sporadic as this game's been, if you're Marion Local, there's still no time to panic. You know, you're still okay, still fine.
Keith Westrick electing to take a timeout. A minute 51 remaining. I believe it's Marion Local 42, Yellow Springs 32.
Helping bring you this event, the Made Right Sandwich Shop, located on North Broadway in Greenville by the Ansonia Lumber Company on Main Street in Ansonia, Gilbert Feller's Funeral Home located in Brookville, Greenville National Bank with several locations in Darke County, by Cox Insurance, located in Ansonia and Greenville, by Homestretch Sportswear, located in St. Henry and Wapakoneta, and by M. Bixler Video Productions. Helping bring you this event, by Oliver Floyd Funeral Home in Greenville, Montage Cafe on Broadway in Greenville, by McCain Painting Incorporated, located in Greenville, by Osgood State Bank, located in Osgood, Family Health Services in Greenville, Arcanum, Versailles, and New Madison, by State Farm Insurance, your agent Jim Gable, and by M. Bixler Video Productions.
Back at Millett Hall in Oxford on the campus of Miami University, 42-34 is the score. The lead has been trimmed to Duane, but Marion Local with the 8-point lead. No need to panic right now. A minute 51 remains in the third quarter. And Yellow Springs with possession. Rediger out in the corner, dishes it off. Brandon. Hodling. Leave him open. He fires. Cannot get that one to go as Lubke grabs the rebound. Winner gets the ball off as he dishes it off to Curtis Muller. Muller back to Winner as he gets it into the front court. Muller out on the wing. Everman. Winner for three. Does not go. Tapped out of bounds, and it's going to be, oh my. Off, they say, of Marion Local.
I know I'm a long way from the court, and I don't have the vantage point that official had on the baseline, but I'd have to disagree with that call.
I would disagree with that call.
You know, Mark, one thing that really helps you in this situation as a coach is if you have veteran kids coming back, to where when you get in this type of situation where another team's making a nice run at you in a regionals, that they don't panic.
Wing jumper does not go, and the rebound, it's still loose, a whistle, and we're going to have a foul. See who it's on. I believe it's on Skinner.
And you'd have to ask yourself last year how many of these kids from Marion Local are getting this type of time in experiencing this type of a run.
The long pass. This time it's taken with two hands. Everman for two, got it to drop.
Johnny on the spot.
Absolutely. 44-34, and that's a big basket, a huge basket by the Flyers.
Take it any way you can get it. You got to credit Yellow Springs, though, on the hustle back.
Absolutely.
Quite honestly, could have been a turnover.
And really should have been. Rediger cannot get it to go as Lubke grabs the rebound. He gets it quickly into the front court, is tripped up and no call. How can you not call that, Duane?
Well, not only don't you get the call, but then they score at the other end.
And that ends the third quarter. We've completed three quarters. It is Marion Local 44, Yellow Springs 36.
Helping bring you this event, the Made Right Sandwich Shop, located on North Broadway in Greenville by the Ansonia Lumber Company on Main Street in Ansonia, Gilbert Feller's Funeral Home located in Brookville, Greenville National Bank with several locations in Darke County, by Cox Insurance, located in Ansonia and Greenville, by Homestretch Sportswear, located in St. Henry and Wapakoneta, and by M. Bixler Video Productions. Helping bring you this event, by Oliver Floyd Funeral Home in Greenville, Montage Cafe on Broadway in Greenville, by Painting Incorporated, located in Greenville, by Osgood State Bank, located in Osgood, Family Health Services in Greenville, Arcanum, Versailles, and New Madison, by State Farm Insurance, your agent Jim Gable, and by M. Bixler Video Productions.
We are back at Millett Hall. 44-34. Marion Local leading this by 10. Yellow Springs with possession to start the final quarter of play. The winner will play Friday night against either Fairlawn or Jefferson. Ball loose, a scrum on the floor. Yellow Springs comes up with it, fires for three, and it's in and out. And boy, they are really letting them play right now.
They are.
Russell Moeller picking up the foul. That is the team's fifth. 7.5 minutes remaining. That free throw does not go. He will get the second free throw as he was in the act of shooting. It is on the way, and it rattles off, does not go, as Russell Moeller grabs the rebound. Adam Kramer gets the ball to Winter. Everman with it on the near sideline. Back to Kramer. Winter fires, doesn't go, loose, and it's Yellow Springs that comes up with it. Silvert Noftel dishes it off to Skinner. Skinner drives down the lane for two. Moeller takes the inbounds pass. Winter into the front court, looks to drive. He goes up with it strong, and count the basket, it goes. Wow, what a huge basket.
It's a huge basket, but as much as they've been letting them play,
the amount of contact there, you're exactly right.
I'm surprised they called that. That basket's big, Mark, from this standpoint. It gives your kids a little chance to take a little breather here.
And it gets you back, I think it's back to the 10-point lead. The free throw is good. As Winter gets the old-fashioned three-point play. Puts it back to 11, I believe, at 47-36. Odeling looks to drive, cut off as Skinner gets the pass back.
When Skinner's got the ball in the high post, some good things have happened.
He looks to drive, and he has it stripped as Kramer comes up with it. Moeller, he'll pick up his dribble and get it back to Kramer, and they'll get it into the front court. Mark Bixler, Duane Warvel, and Matt Mestemaker on camera tonight. We are certainly glad to be with you here at Millett Hall in Oxford on the campus of Miami University for this regional semifinal game. Well, a steal as it goes to Brandon. He lays it up and couldn't get it to go. Well, maybe momentum's starting to switch a little bit here.
Well, I'd say for Yellow Springs, though, the uglier the game is, the better their game is.
Moeller, as I think that was meant to be a shot, but Lubke, he fires, can't get it to go, and it's off of Winter. It's going to be Yellow Springs basketball.
I don't know if some people can understand that, but when balls are flying around and the game is in transition, and you're getting some leak outs and some deep rebounds, really the advantage goes to Yellow Springs.
I would agree. That's the type of offense, type of game that they want. They want more of that helter-skelter type of a game.
And that's what I said at halftime. To hold them to 21 points was just, tremendous for Marion Local.
Silver Knopfel dishes it off. That is Brandon. Brandon gets it back to Fry. Fry looking inside. Ball loose. And it's going to be a timeout taken by Yellow Springs. 5:14 remains. We'll take a timeout here as well. Marion Local leading the Bulldogs of Yellow Springs.
Helping bring you this event, the Made Right Sandwich Shop, located on North Broadway in Greenville, by the Ansonia Lumber Company on Main Street in Ansonia, Gilbert Feller's Funeral Home located in Brookville, Greenville National Bank with several locations in Darke County, by Cox Insurance located in Ansonia and Greenville, by Homestretch Sportswear located in St. Henry and Wapakoneta, and by M. Bixler Video Productions. Helping bring you this event, by Oliver Floyd Funeral Home in Greenville, Montage Cafe on Broadway in Greenville, by McCain Painting Incorporated located in Greenville, by Osgood State Bank located in Osgood, Family Health Services in Greenville, Arcanum, Versailles, and New Madison, by State Farm Insurance, your agent Jim Gable, and by M. Bixler Video Productions.
We're back here at Millett Hall. Mark Bixler along with Duane Warvel. Matt Mestemaker joining us on camera. (47-38) Marion Local with the 9-point lead, as that does not go. As the rebound to the Flyers, Curtis Muller coming up with it. Kramer pushes it to Muller. Muller back to Kramer. Really the key in this game, Duane, has been Yellow Springs effectively shutting down Corey Lubke here in the second half.
They have.
Muller for the three, can't get it to go. Lubke with the rebound. He spins, kisses it off the glass for two.
I really think, Mark, their effort has been a lot better, though.
Yes,
I don't know if
agree.
it took a whole half for Yellow Springs to sink in and say, hey, fellas, we're going to have to really play if we're going to beat this Marion Local Ball Club.
Brandon cannot get it to go. It's loose, and it's going to be a foul, and it's going to go on Skinner. And that will be Skinner, his third foul. And the team's seventh, so the Flyers will be getting the bonus from here on out.
I think a real critical time in the ball game, Mark, for Marion Local, though, has been the start of the second half where they came out and scored real quick on two possessions, and then they went for such a lull until the end of the third quarter and only maximized with 9 points in that third quarter.
Muller gets the first free throw. He'll get the second right now as the Flyers have now extended that lead to 12. 50-38. As that is in and out as Skinner grabs the rebound. Baseline. As that is Hodling. Hodling to get it inside to Rittiger. He is fouled.
And Mark, if you watch that play again, Rittiger made that play. He sealed the defender, was able to make it. Wasn't a real easy pass to catch, and he went after it and made the catch. But I'm really impressed with his play.
Well, the thing I like about it, and having watched post players from Kalida and some major college post players as well, he gets down and he makes himself big.
Right.
First free throw is good. He'll get the second as he was in the act of shooting.
I like to use the term wide.
Yes.
You know, he really makes himself wide.
He makes himself a big target.
Yeah, and it's much easier as a guard to pass the ball.
Second free throw is good as well. A 10-point ball game again at 50-40. Kramer gets the ball to Lubke into the front court. Lubke gives it off to Muller. Back to Kramer now. A 10-point lead as we are under the halfway point. 3:45 and counting down. Muller dishes it off. Kramer The winner will face either Fairlawn or Jefferson, and Kramer, nice job of driving to the basket. He saw the lane open up and he took it. Skinner to Hodeling, fires for three, does not go. The rebound, Brandon, he can't get it to go, and Curtis Muller with the rebound in some trouble, gets the ball off to Winter. Muller takes the pass, and he'll wisely get it to Kramer. And a steal. Hodeling comes up with it, and a reach in. Kramer picks up his fourth foul.
Just when you think Marion Local is going to make a nice little run, I credit Yellow Springs not giving up, and the effort's still there.
52-40. Marion back up by the 12, but Hodeling at the charity stripe getting two, and as we said, that's Kramer's fourth foul, as Hodeling can't get that free throw to drop it. Right now, if you're Keith Westrick, even though Kramer has 4 fouls with 3:11 remaining, he stays in the ball game.
Stays in the game, and he'll end up taking himself out. You know, that'll be his decision on a foul, but you got to go with him.
Well, with 3:11 remaining, we'll take a break. It is 52-42, Marion Local over the Yellow Springs Bulldogs.
Helping bring you this event, the Made Right Sandwich Shop, located on North Broadway in Greenville, by the Ansonia Lumber Company on Main Street in Ansonia, Gilbert Feller's Funeral Home located in Brookville, Greenville National Bank with several locations in Darke County, by Cox Insurance, located in Ansonia and Greenville, by Homestretch Sportswear, located in St. Henry and Wapakoneta, and by M. Bixler Video Productions. Helping bring you this event, by Oliver Floyd Funeral Home in Greenville, Montage Cafe on Broadway in Greenville, by McCain Painting Incorporated, located in Greenville, by Osgood State Bank, located in Osgood, Family Health Services in Greenville, Arcanum, Versailles, and New Madison, by State Farm Insurance, your agent Jim Gable, and by M. Bixler Video Productions.
We are back at Millett Hall on the campus of Miami University in Oxford, Ohio. 52-41 the score. I said it was 52-42, but Hodeling only making 1 of 2. So an 11-point lead for the Flyers. And with just over 3 minutes, that's a big deficit to come back from. But it's not an insurmountable lead.
Crazy things can happen.
Lubke picks it up, loose on the floor, and it is going to be Yellow Springs coming up with the turnover. Fry gives the ball off to Hodeling. Hodeling to Skinner. Long range three by Fry. It's good. 52-44. The lead is 8. Now the Flyers turning it over. Fry gets it out to Hodeling. Brandon.
Oh, tough pass.
Pass intended for Rudiger. Now that was a case that Rudiger made himself big and he just couldn't go get it. Muller gets the ball to Winter. Winter, nice pass to Lubke, and he'll bring it back out. Heads up play by the senior. Right now the clock is your friend.
That in every possession is so important. You need to protect the basketball.
Kramer gets the ball to Winter. Winter pulls up.
Tough shot.
Doesn't get it to go.
Good
but
rebound.
Lubke, the rebound and putback, can't get it to drop. As Rudiger quickly ahead to Brandon. The pass intended for Fry, and Yellow Springs turning it over. And how critical is that? I mean, it was there.
Yeah, it's a case in point where both teams could win this ball game. Take advantage of every possession.
Muller puts it in play. Russell Muller with it now. Picks up the dribble. Curtis Muller looks to drive baseline. Cut off as they'll bring it back out to Kramer. Russell Muller thought about the three but holds back. Adam Kramer.
Good patience.
Looks to drive. Curtis Mueller up with it, cannot get it to go, and boy, Rudiger maybe got by with a little bit of a push. Underneath, the basket is good. And I didn't see who got that, as we have a reach-in foul. A 2-point shot. And it makes it a 6-point game at 52-46. Brandon Fry picking up the foul, his first, the team's 8th. So Adam Kramer will make his way to the charity stripe with the 1 in bonus.
Well, you're at 8 fouls now. If you can keep this lead, you're going to get in the double bonus.
Winner for the 2, cannot get it. The loose ball, Fry comes up with it. He picks up his dribble, Hodling in the corner. The 3-pointer, good! 52-49.
You know, Mark, I really thought the last shot was a hurried shot. They were very fortunate getting the offensive rebound back. You know, you can run some clock. They've got to foul you.
That is the 9th team foul. And Corey Lubke at the free throw line getting the 1 in bonus. And boy, free throws important down the stretch.
Sometimes some of those no shots turn into be great shots too. Yeah. So.
And boy, 2 big free throws by Corey Lubke.
Absolutely.
54-49. The lead is 5 as Skinner grabs the rebound, tries to power his way back up, cannot get it to go, and we've got a jump ball. And on the alternating possession, it favors Marion Local. Big rebound, or tied up, held ball, whatever you want to call it, and the luck of the draw goes to Marion. Just over, I believe, if I'm trying to look, are we at 41 seconds?
41 seconds, I believe.
A 5-point lead. The inbounds pass taken by Kramer, and he is fouled. Heads up play by the Flyers.
Well, that took a great pass, and it took, a great catch.
And the important thing, that is the 10th team foul, so Kramer will be getting 2 throws regardless.
You know, Mark, a lot of kids would have been very tentative to throw that, and did a nice job not holding anything back. And you're playing to win the ball game and not playing to lose.
Absolutely. 55-49, the lead is 6. And this is a huge free throw right now by Adam Kramer. Second one is good as well.
Oh, my.
After Keith Westrick, you're thinking, no, that's not what you want. You don't want the clock stopped.
But that's why they're young men.
I know.
Not to question the outcome of the game, but if Yellow Springs comes out and shoots the ball and protects the ball a little bit better in that first quarter, or if Marion Local comes out and plays a lot better third quarter, either team can win this.
Brad Benning-Clark is number 30 as he gets the first free throw, making it 56-50. We are just, I believe it's about 38 seconds remaining as he gets both free throws, making it a 5-point game, 56-51. Mark Bixler along with Duane Warvel here, bringing you tonight's ball game. Matt Mestemaker on camera as Lubke takes the inbounds pass. And he is fouled. And he's going to go to the charity stripe now, getting 2.
You got to feel pretty good about your senior going to the foul line in these situations.
56-51. Well, the winner will play either Jefferson or Fairlawn here as Lubke gets the first, making it 57-51. Benning Clark checking in for Fry. Well, it was 35-21 at the half, so Yellow Springs playing very well in the second half.
Sure are.
Lubke got that free throw, 58-51. Hodling gets the ball back from the corner. The three-point shot does not go. And a whistle and a foul. It's going to go on Rudiger as Russell Mueller is going to go to the charity stripe.
You know, credit some of Marion Local's inability to score in the third quarter to Yellow Springs' effort that they came out and played with in the second half. Sometimes you just say, well, they didn't play well. Well, there's a reason because of that. I thought the intensity and the effort that Yellow Springs came out with created some tough, problems for Marion Local. So,
well, and Adam Kramer picked up the third foul there in the third quarter too, and had to take a seat for a while.
But a couple of Adams' fouls were because of turnovers.
Exactly.
And those turnovers were because of the pressure that Yellow Springs was applying to him.
Did he make that free throw?
No.
So it's still 58-51. As he will get the second with just over 19 seconds. Does not get it to go.
Big rebound. Big rebound. Pull it out, boys.
As Dwayne said, and Ryan Winter is going to go to the charity stripe. He will get 2 free throws. And 15 and a half seconds remain right now. That is all that is between the Flyers and the regional championship game for a second year in a row.
And I'm sure if you're Marion Local and they hold on to win this, they'd much rather play Fairlawn than they would Jefferson, a team that is going to be a lot like Yellow Springs. That's going to be very athletic and have a lot of athleticism. Not that you don't have that in the MAC, but it's a lot more disciplined.
Fairlawn is more suited to, coming from the Shelby County Athletic League, more suited to how teams play in the MAC. Ryan Winter hits both free throws. And that probably is going to do it, as that is a miss. Hodling fires, cannot get it, tapped out. Brandon fires, gets the 2. And time is going to run out. The final score here from Millett Hall. The Flyers will advance on as they outlast Yellow Springs 60-53. Dwayne and I will be right back, and we'll take a look at the unofficial scoring and wrap things up here from Millett Hall in just a moment.
Helping bring you this event, the Maid-Rite Sandwich Shop, located on North Broadway in Greenville by the Ansonia Lumber Company on Main Street in Ansonia, Gilbert Feller's Funeral Home located in Brookville, Greenville National Bank with several locations in Darke County, by Cox Insurance located in Ansonia and Greenville, by Homestretch Sportswear located in St. Henry and Wapakoneta, and by M. Bixler Video Productions. Helping bring you this event by Oliver Floyd Funeral Home in Greenville, Montage Cafe on Broadway in Greenville, by McCain Painting Incorporated located in Greenville, by Osgood State Bank, located in Osgood, Family Health Services in Greenville, Arcanum, Versailles, and New Madison, by State Farm Insurance, your agent, Jim Gable, and by M. Bixler Video Productions.
11:45 to 12:30.
We welcome you back here to Millett Hall on the campus of Miami University in Oxford. The final score, 60-53. The Marion Local Flyers will advance on as they will take on either Fairlawn or Jefferson, the winner of game number 2 here tonight. Let's take a look at the unofficial scoring. First off, for the Bulldogs of Yellow Springs, we had unofficially Fry with 3, Benning Clark with 6, Brandon with 6, Johnson with 2, Hodling with 1. We had 2 that not sure who got that. Rediger with 14, and leading the way, Jordan Skinner with 16. For the Flyers, Adam Kramer with 7, Ryan Winter 8, Curtis Muller 5, Wes Everman 4, Russell Muller 11, and leading the way for the Flyers, Corey Lubke, we had unofficially with a game high 25 points. And Duane, what a tale of 2 halves.
Well, it was a contrast of 2 different ball clubs. You had Marion Local, who came out in their matchup zone and at the same time, extended their defense and recovered defensively and were grabbing a lot of the defensive boards. And the first half puts 35 points on the board. And you have Yellow Springs, who came out and, full court pressure, extended their man-to-man, pressure all over the floor. Didn't play particularly well the first half, but credit Marion Local for that. And then second half, really Marion Local kind of going into a lull. I believe only scoring 9 points, and 4 or 5 of those came right off the bat.
Well, they hit a 3
quarter.
right away.
But one thing that was evident at both ends is you had 2 teams that were playing extremely hard, and the effort was there. And credit both teams to having outstanding seasons, and Marion Local hopefully just continues.
Well, a great win for the Flyers, no question. We'll be back down here on Bixler Video Productions. We'll be back down here Friday night. Myself, I will be in Columbus for the state semifinal game. The Minster Lady Wildcats taking on Berlin Highland. That should be a great matchup. We'll have that game for you, as well as Marion's regional championship game. And Jefferson, a team that same conference as Yellow Springs, the Metro Buckeye Conference. Fairlawn comes from the Shelby County Athletic League, and everybody thought there would be a Shelby County Athletic League team here, just not Fairlawn.
And Fairlawn's one of those teams that's gotten better.
Absolutely.
Has gotten better throughout the year, and part of it's, being hot at the right time.
Well, again, the final score here from Millett Hall in Oxford on the campus of Miami University. Marion Local 60, Yellow Springs 53. For Duane Warvel and on camera Matt Mestemaker, I'm Mark Bixler. Until next time, so long, everybody.